Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Builds, and today we're dealing with a 1999 Lamborghini Diablo GTR. Now this has 1004 horsepower, 761 pounds-feet of torque from its original 6.3 litre twin turbocharged V12 engine, and it now weighs 2,190 pounds. Has off-road tyres, all-wheel drive and off-road suspension, and it can now do 0 to 60 in 2.906 seconds, 0 to 100 in 5.662 seconds, and going to a top speed of 240 miles an hour. When I say it's original engine, obviously it's been upgraded, but it is still the original engine, just larger and now with twin turbos on. So yeah, there's a lot of precedent for this for being quick, because 4 cars in the top 10 are from the late 90s. Obviously this is a late 90s car, and one of those cars is at the top of the leaderboard, and it is also a track car like this. So yeah, I have every confidence that this is going to be quick. Now obviously it doesn't mean it will be, but I have a high degree of confidence that this will be a fast car. Might not well quite get into the top 10, but it is still going to be quick, and yeah, will hopefully show up some of the newer competition, especially the newer competition that is meant for going off-road. So yeah, this has plenty of potential. It's got 1,000 horsepower, it weighs very little, it's got a lot of downforce with a really rather large rear spoiler and then a front splitter as well. And yeah, even though it's not meant for dealing with these conditions, it's so light on its feet that I feel like it will be able to just glide over them, because it's quite wide, despite obviously being quite light. I think the width of this car will also help keep it stable. So let's see. Certainly don't seem to be struggling with the all-wheel drive system all that much. A little bit of understeer there, but on the whole it is necessary to deal with the conditions and the extra power that we have. Good thing about this car is that it's extremely agile, which is always necessary for the series. A car that is too bulky and too unwieldy to drive can end up losing time just because you have to go really slow into a corner. It's difficult to turn out of that corner as well. Whereas if you've got all the agility in the world, then you're not going to struggle whatsoever in that regard. No slouch at the top end there at 188 mile an hour across the finish line, and a time of 1 minute 54.575 means we now have a new leader. Finally, that Porsche 911 GT1 Stratus version has been at the top of the leaderboard for the longest time, and yeah, not only are we quicker than it, but we are quicker than it by a substantial margin, as that Porsche had a time of 1 minute 56.109, so we're nearly 2 seconds quicker. Well, I think we had less power as well, so maybe the lack of power in comparison to some of the vehicles on this series helped keep it even more, stable and more in control. But regardless, more than 1,000 horsepower in the Diablo is still a lot. It's far more than it had originally, and yeah, obviously it weighs a lot less as well, and dealing with off-road conditions and all-wheel drive system, yeah, that's asking a lot from it. And yeah, it was just pretty much perfect. We hit, I think, one wall. But even then we were still able to go quite quickly after it, and yeah, really agile, kept up a great rate of speed, doing nearly 190 across the finish line certainly helped. And yeah, the fact that it's quicker than not only every other car, but also quicker than 2 vehicles from the 2020, either the Koenigsegg Jesko and the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray Coupe is also impressive, as well as the Toyota Supra RZ, which was meant for all-wheel drive, whereas this wasn't. The TVR Cerberus Speed 12, which I think was even lighter than this, and then you've also got the Riser Tachyon Speed, again that had all-wheel drive standard and had a hell of a lot more in the way of torque and power, as well as the ATS GT and the Bugatti Diva, which has now been bumped out of the top 10, meaning yeah, we've got now 5 vehicles from the late 90s in the top 10, which is fairly conclusive in being probably one of the best kind of years to really drive on this course, because yeah, there's no real coincidence there whatsoever that we're all that quick. It's just, maybe it's down to the fact that a lot of them are trying to track cars, the McLaren F1 GT, the TVR Cerberus Speed 12, the Porsche 911 GT1 Stratus version, and this are obviously track vehicles. but the Toyota Super RZ certainly isn't, and that is, yeah, still in 5th place now with this going into 1st place. So yeah, either way, really impressed by this Diablo. Wasn't expecting it to be this quick, that's for sure, and yeah, it's really nice to have a new leader, quite frankly. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.